the center. Here's the pass coming in over the line. An opportunity right in front of the net. They score! Leaves it for Ristolainen. Scores! Ristolainen ripped it in off the post. He breaks it home. And the Sabres keep it in. Score! Keonta!
The 2014-15 Buffalo Sabres season is presented by Gold Ring Partners, First Niagara, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York, Labatt, and Falls View Casino Resort.
Hi again, everyone. Sabres Coyotes coming up here on MSG. Nikita Zadorov's back in on the blue line. Anders Lindback gets the call in goal for Buffalo. We welcome you in alongside Brad May, and we often talk about leadership, Brad. The captains on each side very well respected and trying to navigate both of these clubs through very challenging times.
Absolutely. Brian Gionta on our side, a real good leader, a champion in his own right, has to get his team fired up here the last few games of the season. They have a lot to play for. They have to find the genesis of that. Shane Doan, on the other hand, over 1,300 games in the National Hockey League, a captain, a hard-working player. He has to find a way to make a difference tonight for his team to actually advance.
Both were certainly involved in the outcome last time out at First Niagara Center last week. Dan and Razor have got the call coming up.
Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by First Niagara, the official bank of the Buffalo Sabres. Labatt Blue Light, the official Canadian import of the Buffalo Sabres. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. Healthy changes everything. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Falls View Casino Resort, the place you want to be. Closed captioning for Buffalo Sabres broadcast brought to you by Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center, offering programs to improve reading comprehension, language, and vocabulary for children in Western New York.
How you doing?
And now please rise and remove your hats for the presentation of colors by the Luke Air Force Base Honor Guard. And now please welcome tonight's Seats for Soldiers recipient, Staff Sergeant Kyle Riley. And now with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Coyotes official anthem singer, Patrick Lauder.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome inside the Gila River Arena in Arizona for the 72nd game all time between Buffalo and Arizona. For the Sabres, they are looking for win number 42 in this series. Our starting goaltenders are brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop. Great tasting food at amazing prices. And Anders Lindback gets the call, 26 years of age, his 106th game played tonight. The save percentage just over the 9 number that you like to see at .901. Down the other end of the ice, hey, 2 goaltenders who can really handle the puck tonight. How about Mike Smith? He has a .934 save percentage since the deadline with 340-plus save performances for the Coyotes. He has really turned his game around since the deadline. This broadcast is brought to you in HD by the new Stereo Advantage. See the first LG OLED at the new Stereo Advantage located on Worley Drive. Tonight's referees, Kyle Raymond and Frederick Lecourrier. The linesmen, Mark Wheeler and Keel Murchison. Rob Ray down between the benches. Dan Dunleavy upstairs tonight. And the Sabres from right to left to start it off in the white uniforms against the top line for the Coyotes. Arcobello with Doan and Reeder on either side. And the Sabres with Larson to take the opening face-off. Onto the ice tonight with Gianta and Matt Molson. Let's start on Buffalo with the puck down on the Sabres end. Molson with a tip off the boards and down the ice. And it took us all of a few seconds here for our first icing call. We bring Rob Ray into the show.
Dan, tonight the Sabres got to be very aware of the forecheck of this Arizona Coyotes team. They got a little taste of it last week in Buffalo. They're going to come down the walls. They're going to come strong, and they're going to finish. When they get into the zone, look for them to try to rotate the puck an awful lot. Sabres cannot get caught chasing here all night long.
Off the face-off, back to Stone. His shot, blocker save. Lindback steers it off to the right wing boards, and it's Gianta sending it right across the face of the goal, but the Sabres safely out of their own zone. And the puck fired down into the Arizona end. Here's a shot tipped right on for the point. Molson with the first tip, and Smith with the save there. And again, it's Andre Mazzaros with a quick shot. Molson with a blast, and that one a pad save kicked away by Smith. Sabres good pressure down low, pick up a couple of chances, and now Arcobello will start down the left wing and across the Buffalo line. Top of the circle, pass across, and Shane Doan had a great chance on the right side, just couldn't pull the trigger. Arcobello behind the net, centers in front, and Reeder had a chance as well. Stick lift at the last moment, and the Sabres will clear the puck down the ice. And an icing call that, well, if you can hear the background noise on Rob Ray's microphone, nobody on the Phoenix bench liked, or Buffalo bench rather.
Buffalo, they did not like it. They're all standing at the door here watching what happened on the icing. And they all thought that it should have been an icing. Right here, the first deflection by Matt Molson. Great opportunity. Gianta comes in from behind, almost gets a chance. And then Matt Molson's going to get another great opportunity on this same shift with a one-time shot from the left side of the net.
Off the face-off, Sabres clear it out to center ice, and it'll be brought in by Gagne. Down the right side, he'll play it back to the line. Connor Murphy shot tipped in front, and Moss with the game's first goal.
David Moss planted himself in front, and the shot come from Murphy. We'll have to wait and see if it deflected off anything. Once again, Sabres just backing off a little too much, giving that line a little too free. Great pass to the point. Here's Murphy taking the shot.
Lifted his leg. I don't know if it went off him or not.
We'll get a little better look right here, standing in front, Mazzaros and Moss.
Well, it certainly jumped up like it did.
That one's hard to tell.
Yeah, wait and
see what they make the call in the building.
Nonetheless, not long into this one, and our first goal of the game belongs to the Coyotes, and the Sabres will ice the puck.
Sometimes very difficult to see, especially on the replays, getting an angle to see if somebody touched the puck in front. I know there's a lot of nights we try to figure out if somebody did, if they didn't. Usually the best way to tell is whoever goes down through the bench first. They always realize who scored the goal, and everybody else just kind of follows that guy down through. And that guy tonight was Murphy going for the first tap of the hands.
Yeah, we played that game not too long ago, didn't we? Guess who scored?
Yes.
But for now, it's Connor Murphy's 4th of the year. And the Coyotes back in the Buffalo zone again, down to the right wing corner. Time again trying to turn it back to the point. Instead, BJ Crombeen's shot is stopped, kicked to the near boards. Marcus Foligno, he's got a number of games now without scoring a goal, but does have a couple of assists in his last 3 games. Flips the puck up and down the ice, and the Coyotes will start out from behind their own net. Just underway, 1-0 Phoenix. And here comes Vitale as he sends it cross ice with that shot that deflects to Ekman Larsson to the far point. He is double teamed at the Sabre blue line, and that is Patrick Kaleta forcing the puck all the way down into the Arizona end. Ekman Larsson, left wing boards, pass up to center, takes a hit as he plays the puck ahead, and a bouncing puck settled down by Anders Lindback and left for Nikita Zadorov. His pass kept in at the blue line, and Kyle Chipchura trying to turn that one inside towards the Buffalo high slot. Turn back, and the Coyotes back into their own end. 3 shots on goal for Phoenix, and they've got the game's only goal so far as they carry it offside this time.
Nikita Zadorov back in the lineup here tonight, getting another opportunity. Ted Nolan and the coaching staff yesterday really put it to this young man in practice, and he stayed out there for an awful long time. It was probably, a normal practice time without a puck, and they just skated him, trying to get the message across to what they want this young guy to do, putting him back in here tonight to get another opportunity.
3 goals on the year for Zadorov. However, you look at 2 of them coming on the power play. Certainly bonuses at this stage in his career, but certainly lessons to be learned, as you mentioned. Here's Chipchura down low in the Phoenix zone, the Arizona zone, as he tries to send it in the slot, and that ricochets on the stick now of Murphy as he goes side to side with Klaus Dahlbeck, his defense partner tonight. Puck across the Sabres line, too far for Jordan Swartz out of Burlington, Ontario, and it's sent back into the Arizona end again. Murphy straight up the middle of the pass this time. That's off the stick of Shane Doan, and now Molson with a chance to bring it in. Leaves it for Gianta, left wing, shot block. Here's Mazzaros, hammers another one. That one doesn't get to the net. There's another one that drifts to the side of the goal as it was a clearing attempt from under the goal line that ricochets to Mike Smith at the near post.
Well, the defenseman for the Arizona Coyotes is trying to clear the puck up the wall, and what it does, he's going to end up hitting Brian Gianta. Just turns and fires it right here. Brian's on a little bit of a forecheck, hits him in the right leg. Goaltender Smith had to be ready for that one. That redirection came to him quick.
Face off in the Arizona zone. Bouncing puck along the near boards. Sent behind the net. Larsson takes his man out under the goal line, but following up on the play. Now Larsson with a steal. Here's Gianta, pulls the trigger. He misses that one wide near side. Molson sweeps the puck to the side of the net. Goes to the corner and up and over the glass. Good pressure, by Buffalo down low. We invite you to stay tuned for the Karuba Collision coming up later in the game. You go to Sabres.com, vote on the Karuba Collision of the Year. You'll have a chance to win season tickets for next season.
This defensive core for Phoenix or Arizona, very young. You've got to try to take advantage of them. You got to get them working down low, and you're going to be able to establish a net front presence. Sabres had success in Buffalo by doing that. This is what they got to try to establish here in this first period, trying to get some shots to the net, but men in front trying to create some havoc.
Lindback to play the puck behind the net, and it deflects up off the mesh. Moss, Gagne, and Erad out for Phoenix. Let's make that Arizona. We'll do that a few times tonight.
Now Marcus Foligno, who's the guy in the last couple of months who just come back and he's played extremely well and very physical every night. It just seems like he's leaving it all over the ice. He's banging everything that moves and got his legs going. Tremendous on the forecheck lately, and he's just really doing what he can do to make a difference out there.
Weber behind the net, brings it to the near corner. And Zadorov with the lean to create space, but a shot from Murphy at the point almost deflected towards goal. But the Sabres able to clear it out and down the ice. Right wing break in, and another puck deflects out of play. This one off the pad and stick of Mike Smith.
This is one of these games where Mikhail Grigorenko can make a difference. He's a guy very offensively talented. He needs to hang on to the puck here tonight, try to make things happen. Once he gets into that offensive zone, because of those young D are going to be running all over, he can pick and choose where he can make these passes. He's got to hang on to the puck, though, and try to make something happen with it. Too many times just looking to dish it off and drive through to the net. Has to hang on to it longer.
Face-off, won by the Sabres, and a shot. Veroni almost squeezed that one past Smith. But it is still an Arizona lead, and here they come up through center ice with a long pass. Bouncing ahead of Joe Vitale down to the corner. He'll send it around to the right wing side. Took a pretty good hit there from Bogosian. And now the puck is cleared out to center ice and racing back for it. The Coyotes keep possession. Crombeen with a tip into the Buffalo end, and Lindback out to play it. We'll keep an eye on how these teams game the zone tonight. Dump-ins carrying in like Cody Hodgson there with a shot that's blocked away by Smith. These are two goaltenders, as we mentioned, at the start of the game, that are a couple of the best in handling the puck, at least right now. Sabres, good pressure down low with a check by Schaller. That frees up some play down to the side of the net. Puck doesn't get there, but Cody Hodgson, Schaller, and Matt Ellis out now for Buffalo. Arizona deep into the Sabres zone with a shot deflects towards the goal and then all the way back for Andrew Campbell. This is Doan, right wing at center. He'll shoot it in. Ristolainen against Tobias Reeder against the boards. Now Ekman-Larsson for the point, and the shot stops Reeder with another shot. That one deflects just wide. Larsson can't clear. This is Arcabella behind the net. Reeder winds and fires, pad save, big rebound, kicked out, but right onto the stick of Larsson. He tried to perhaps send Gianta on a partial break, couldn't get the pass ahead. And now Arizona changing, and a pass back by Larsson will go all the way behind the Arizona goal. 6.5 gone, 1-0. Arizona. Sabres on the forecheck, can't keep it in. The Arizona and Coyotes will shoot it down low in the Buffalo zone. Zadorov takes a hit but makes a smart play with the puck, and the Sabres able to break it out because of that. Here comes Delpy, right circle. His shot deflects nowhere near the goal, and the Coyotes with some room now to break it out towards center ice off the left wing, tip in the Buffalo zone. Sabres will come back home after this game, fly home tomorrow, and their next date at home will be against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's Moss, right wing, crossing the line with a drop for Gagne. Edge of the circle, pass back post, and that tips down low. Delorier stays with his man, and Campbell, who came down from the left point. Top of the circle, far side, traffic in front, and a broken stick. The blade bounces high into the air and settles down to the right of the Buffalo goal behind the goal line. Sabres now with a chance to break it out. And Patrick Kaleta, his stick blew up in the play, gets one from Mike Weber, but they both go to the bench as the Sabres get the puck deep in the Phoenix zone. Gagne right wing to center with a shooting. In back. It's the play moving quickly, and Bogosian finds Ellis, right wing up to center ice. Ellis still with the puck this time. He'll bank it off the board. Smith out to play it. It eludes him, and Shadow will backhand it right behind the goal again for Cody Hodgson. Ellis comes up with it. He's got a man in front, plays it back to the point. Here's Bogosian, no shot. Cross ice pass Mazzaros. Rister on net, and that one steered aside by Smith. Loose puck picked up by Time again. And the Coyotes now, as things open up, with a chance to skate it to their blue line and out to center ice with a pass ahead. In over the Buffalo line, Crombeen right wing. Takes a hit as he looks to play that puck down low. Now under the goal line, and Gianta has some time and space on the right side for Buffalo. He'll lift it to the line and out to center ice, but the Coyotes get the puck back again. Crombeen gives it away. Larsson right down the middle, fires it wide. High off the glass, but Larsson off the boards, left wing, gets it back again. Now Nikita Zadorov traps it with his skates along the boards, keeps it in. Puck bounces high into the air. Now Chipchura in a crowd trying to lean his way around and out of the zone, and he does. Right wing to center, to the Buffalo line, and in as he'll tip it down to the goal line and chase after it himself. Zadorov playing it to the far boards. It's chipped out to center ice and knocked down by Connor Murphy. Almost lost the puck, but he gets some help as Dahlback comes back to help him out. Murphy again, right wing to center. It's tipped to the Buffalo line and in, but the Sabres get possession back again. Benoit off the boards looking for Marcus Foligno, right wing too far. And the Coyotes will try the right wing themselves. Big hit along the boards as Zadorov takes his man out of the play. Trying to come across the blue line that time was Jordan Schwartz. Puck kept in at the point. Shot with traffic in front is wide. Tobias Reeder in front of the net. A play behind the Buffalo goal. Almost halfway through this first period. And a 1-0 Arizona lead. Sabres with 6 shots on goal to Arizona's 4 so far. Grigorenko. Left wing to center. He'll tip it in. Smith will trap it on the backhand. Change to his forehand to play the puck. And it's quickly moved ahead by John Moore. And the Coyotes have their way left wing to center ice as they finish up a line change. Gagne comes back to help out, and Stone will send it back to Gagne over on the far boards. Ekman-Larsson has it go off his stick over the line. Ristolainen off the boards down to the near corner. Lazaros plays it back behind the net. Ristolainen ahead of Gagne. Kaleta tips it down the ice, and this will be an icing call charged here against Buffalo.
Johan Larsson had a great opportunity picking off a pass at Arizona's blue line. Right there, coming in one-on-one with Smith. He missed the net by a foot. Mike Smith coming out, cutting the angle off, attacking, taking the angle away. But he just totally missed the net by about a foot.
Certainly can't complain about the anticipation nor the production from Larsson over the last 10 games. 9 points, 3 of them goals. And averaging just over 20 minutes of ice time during that span. Here's a chance now for Arizona as they work the puck down to the right wing boards. Murphy from the point plays it for Erat. His pass in the slot, and the shot by Moss is easily handled by Anders Lindback and kicked out of play. We have 1 goal in the game so far. It belongs to Arizona with 9 minutes to go in the first.
Coyotes leading the Sabres 1-0. 9 minutes left in this first period. A Hyundai leader. Most goals in one season by a Swedish-born defenseman. Number 1, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. This year is sitting at 21 goals, followed by Nick Lidstrom, Fredrik Olsson, and Erik Karlsson. All have registered 20 in a season in the past.
23 years of age. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And a pretty good crop of players is always coming out of Sweden. Of course, we saw Gabriel Landeskog just the other night, who had great things to say about Larsson, who's been playing so well for Buffalo of late and had really the Sabres' best chance so far. If you're just joining us here in this opening period, face off the Buffalo zone. Arizona win the draw, back to the line, left wing side of the corner. Delorier has it come to him. He can't clear, but now the puck bounces outside the blue line, and Dahlbeck will take it down. Murphy back to Dahlbeck between the circles. He'll carry up to center ice. Bank off the boards and behind the net. Here's Lindback playing it again. Very confident. Forehand trying to clear it up the boards and out. It's tipped by Ellis down the ice. No icing as Arcobello goes back for it. Ellis goes to the bench for Buffalo. Scheller and Hodgson still out there as Molson comes over the boards. In behind the Buffalo net, bouncing puck. Zadorov has to find it, and now Shane Doan sends a bouncer in front of the net off the body, comes to the circle and then cleared. As Molson didn't like the way that puck was hopping around, so took no chances, just got it out of the zone. Arizona fire right back in. They'll finish up a line change. Benoit and Bogosian. Bogosian cross ice, and Larsson. It looked like he might have his head down and be in a bad spot there, as Jordan Swartz seemed to have him lined up. Coyotes, Craig Cunningham. On the Buffalo side of center, had it cleared away. Cunningham will have it come back to him again. 24-year-old out of Trail, British Columbia. Out there along with Kyle Chipchura and Schwartz. Coyotes now up the middle, tipped into the Buffalo zone. Bogosian takes a look. See Schwartz bearing down on him. Support comes down to play the puck in the form of Grigorenko under the goal line. Foligno and Benoit help to team up and get that puck out right wing to center. Sabres break in the pass just under the stick of Grigorenko. Down comes Foligno to keep it under the goal line. Tucked in behind the net by Campbell. He's knocked down. And now it's Schwartz who will carry to the blue line, and a pass off as he gains center ice. 4 Sabres collapse around the Phoenix puck carrier, trying to gain the zone for the Coyotes. They keep it in, and Crombeen chasing after it. He finishes his check, but Lazaros comes up with the loose puck. He'll bank it off the inboards and now off the back of the Buffalo net. As Crombeen runs into Ristolainen, and the Sabres just tip the puck down the ice. Smith coming well out of his net to play the puck up ice. Crombeen with a tip, and now it's Vitale in over the Buffalo line. For Crombeen, right circle, pass in the slot, one moving, a backhand blocker save made by Lindback. Nice play coming into the play by Dahlbeck, but now he's got to race back as the Sabres race into the Arizona zone with a shot wide, now behind the net. Here's Veroni. He's got Delorier battling out front for position. Puck comes along the boards. Weber for Delorier. Shot blockered away by Smith. Delorier comes up with it again. Back to the line. Bogosian Down to the corner right wing side. Delorier in front. The pass off a skate. And it ricochets to the boards near side. Crombeen's been out there a while. Here comes Patrick Kaleta. As Delorier and Kaleta start finishing their checks. And just now this line for Arizona able to get off the ice with 5:35 to go here in the opening period. Gagne brings the puck down at center, whips a pass off the left wing boards. Irat, backhand pass in the slot, looking for Moss. Loose puck. Gagne got a whack at it. Saved by Lindback, and he covers up. Lindback attentive, keeps this game at 1-0 as Gagne has its latest chance with 5:17 to go in the first. The Ford dealers of Western New York replay brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
And Lindback called upon here once again. Arizona, some good pressure down low, just puck thrown to the front of the net. Sam Gagne right in the right place at the right time, gets one chance, stops. Lindback gets that big right leg out to make this second save and kind of corrals the puck in with his stick and glove for the freeze. Good opportunity for Arizona there on the rush.
Yeah, for 6'6", 215, Lindback continues to impress with his ability, yes, of course, to get post to post, but when he needs to get compact as well, he's been able to do that and just hold on to the puck. Phoenix or Arizona off the draw, and with the puck in the Buffalo far circle, Sabres will bring it out. This is 3 now to center down the right wing. Schaller will carry, trying to lean his way in for a pass to the front of the net. Ellis hit by Irat, down low. Schaller picking up the play as well, and now it's Gagne who turns with it on the left wing boards, and his backhand will come cross ice to center ice where Weber gets there ahead of Irat and sends it back into the Arizona zone. Here's a loose puck at the side of the net again. Larson picks it up. Larson in behind the net with it, looking for a target. Carries out to the far side. Up top, Bogosian. Look to Larson. Shoots instead. Smith save. Rebound is just shoveled wide. Cody Hodgson with that chance. Weber keeps it in behind the goal. Poked away by Campbell to the far boards. Larson keeps it in. Here's Molson now. Takes a check under the goal line to the corner with it. Back to the open point. Weber. Wrister on goal. And a glove save by Smith with traffic just in front. And the Buffalo Sabres putting some pressure on. They trail it 1-0.
This first period, a very physical one. Buffalo out hitting Arizona 16-11, but there's been hits all over. In the neutral zone, in the mid-ice, down low. Everybody seems to be finishing their checks. Every opportunity. Nick Delorier leading the way with 4 hits. Mazzaro's registering 3 so far in this first period, but doing a good job in their own zone. Hitting, eliminating. This is what they got to do to try to slow this team down.
Clean face-off win by Johan Larson. His third face-off win of the period. He against Arcabello. Here's a chance now. Gianto winds and fires, and Smith with a blocker save to the near boards. Stays 1-0 for the home side. Sabres up the middle again, now left wing. Molson takes the shot, holds it. Nice little pass. Gianto backhand. Save made. Smith with a rebound, though. Kicks it out. Sabres keep possession. Back to the line. Mazzaro's shot. That goes off the skate before it gets to the net. To the far point and firing around the boards. Larson, left wing hash marks. Gianto behind the net. Molson meets the pass. Back to the captain. His pass comes back to the far point. Wrister towards goal. That's blocked. Larson knocked down, plays it from Molson, keeps it moving. Now Gianto sends it back across, and it's off a skate. And right to Smith, who will hold on.
Now some great chances there, especially for Brian Gianto. First one, just pressure and creating the turnover in the middle. Larson's able to feed him, coming in one-on-one with Smith. Shot. Smith comes up with a big blocker save. But right there, Brian Gianto started this whole thing. Then Larson pokes it away, able to send Gianto in. And a big save by Smith.
Sabres win the draw again. Back to the blue line. Zadorov trying to carry it cross ice before wristing it towards the net. It's off a skate. And the Coyotes will send Buffalo back into their own end. Zadorov for Dalpe, right wing, just inside the Buffalo blue line. Now it's Benoit. He'll carry down the ice. Foligno sends it deep in the Arizona zone down to the right wing corner. Grigorenko bothered there as he's watched by Dahlbeck. Sabres keep the puck. Here's Zadorov with Benoit at the left point. Bank pass off the inboards. Foligno under the goal line. Dalpe down in support, picks up the puck, leaves it for Foligno. Dalpe took a big hit. to keep the possession moving for Buffalo. Now Zadorov, tough play at the blue line, able to keep it in, and Foligno with a big play as well. Boy, Phoenix or Arizona one bounce away from getting down the ice here and a possible break. Coyotes will shoot it in, an awkward bounce off the boards with Lindback behind the net to play. It came out front, but nobody home in a Coyotes jersey, and the Sabres able to get it out to center. Hudson ties his man up along the boards, and now it's Mike Weber with a shoot-in. Smith out to play it. That takes an awkward hop on him off the rail as well behind the net, but Arizona will get it out to center ice, where the Sabres will just lift the high one right back in off the glass. Minute 40 to go. Opening period. Sabres keep it in. Chance in front. Here's Cody Hodgson. Oh, and Smith got his glove on it. What a chance for the Sabres forward, and Mike Smith, who's been playing lights out. We mentioned since the All-Star break, or since the trade deadline rather, continues his stellar play. Here's Crombeen down in the right corner deep in the Buffalo zone. Watched by Larson. Puck comes free. Sabres 1-2-3 out of the zone. Here they come to center ice. And it's the defenseman Bogosian to shoot it in to the Arizona end, and it's up. And a whistle will see a face-off stay in the Arizona zone.
Cody Hodgson comes oh so close right here, getting a pass, trying to wait out Smith, trying to make him commit to something, and Smith just stayed with him. Comes across, does not make that commitment till the last second with the big glove hand. And Cody Hodgson not able to sneak it by him, but a great opportunity for Cody in that position. This line has had great chances here all first period.
Cody's had some looks the last few games, Rob. He's certainly got himself in the right spot. And you're right, just looking for that finishing touch as the Coyotes shoot it in.
He talks that he likes to play with Matt Ellis. He says he's very predictable. He knows where to go. He knows how to read off him very easy. And he just seems to have comfort feeling with me, he said.
This is Gagne, under a minute to go in the opening period. Just in over the Buffalo line, and he's stripped of the puck by Ristolainen, who just softly tosses it down the ice, and ball back. And Connor Murphy ahead to Arcobello. Now Shane Doan, right wing over the Buffalo line before he's rubbed along the boards there by Weber. Puck around to the far side. Delpy trying to clear. Arcobello keeps it in. Down to the corner with it. Sends it to the side of the net. Lindback to save. Bogosian on the loose puck. Delpy to the line. Not out. Kept in. Grigorenko's backhander off the boards to Delpy. 15 seconds. Foligno carries over the line. His shot goes off the skate, and the Coyotes have it back again. Delpy at center. Grigorenko carries over the line. 4 red jerseys surround him as he takes it down to the left wing corner with 1 second to go, and that'll do it for period number 1.
Sabres creating some very good offensive opportunities in this first period. Just need to capitalize, need to get that break. Gave up one early, but started to get their legs going as this period went on and continued to be very physical.
Well, you mentioned the one early, and that is the 22-year-old out of Boston, Connor Murphy, with his 4th of the year. 1-0 Arizona after 1.
Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Buffalo Sabres. Brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Built Ford tough. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Brought to you by your Buffalo Hyundai dealers. Brought to you by Document Elegance and Konica Minolta, the official office technology company of the Buffalo Sabres. Get tomorrow's office today. The New York State Smokers Quit Line. For help quitting, talk to your doctor or call 866-NY-QUITS.
Highlights from the opening frame here in Glendale, and the man we talked about extensively in the pregame was Sam Gagne, and he adds to his season total with another of his team-leading assists as he fed Connor Murphy at the point, and it got through the traffic in front and past Anders Lindback, who started. But did I not promise you that you would see a very positive Corsi number? Yes, indeed. Plus 13. That many attempts on goal. 12 of them shots. 10 of them were blocked. Mazzaros alone had 3 blocked. I thought he actually had 4 or 5 blocked. Regardless, there were 4 that missed as well. And the push has been happening everywhere. But I think what Brad was talking about, when you're getting back in a good posture, those 7 shots from the gray area, if you will, there was a lot of quick turnaround, I thought, from Buffalo. Steal the puck, get it on goal, try and create a little bit more. And tonight, boy, oh boy, I mean, if that number continues, you have to like Buffalo's chances of getting this thing even or better.
I'm not sure on. I'm not an analytics guy, Brian. So you know what we see. There's no question. The one thing that is evident to me is the work ethic for the Buffalo Sabres and the physical play, creating those chances. I'm not a believer that if it happens in the first period, it's going to happen in the second. You know what? These players have to take the opportunity. Momentum shifts very quickly in the National Hockey League, so you got to stay on it. You got to keep your foot on the gas. The Buffalo Sabres, starting with Coletta, Delorier physically, Bogosian on the blue line, have to stay physical to force the Arizona Coyotes with the puck.
Dan and Razor with the second.
Well, Rob, I guess for you, the theme would be take advantage. Similar to what they're saying. You get those opportunities, you got to bury them.
Yeah, Dan, you never know how many you're going to get in a game, and they've created some great opportunities in that first period, but you got to capitalize on them. All of a sudden, if they start cleaning up their own end, I'm talking Arizona, those opportunities may dry up a little bit. You may look in the third period trying to force something to happen when you had some free ones early that you didn't capitalize on, may come back to kick yourself.
Well, it looks like Mike Smith had some reason to keep him out of the room a bit. He just jets from the bench to between the pipes. And the way he's playing lately, they'll give him as much time as they can here in Arizona. Shots at 12-9, Buffalo after the first 20 minutes of plays for the second consecutive game. Buffalo not outshot in that first period and able to put double digits in shots on goal. As Giunta picks up the puck at center ice. Lays it off in the right wing, and it's fired in behind the net. Smith right off the bench into play, puts it off the glass, and the puck rolls to the blue line, and here comes Arizona. This is Reeder with a shot, steered aside by the blocker along the ice of Anders Lindback. Puck in the skates of Tobias Reeder in behind the Buffalo goal. He'll bring it out near side, pass back to Ekman Larsson at the point. He'll keep it moving. Shane Doan in the far corner. Buffalo attacking from left to right here in this second period. Lazaro's got a touch on the puck. Comes around the boards near side. Pass back to Doan, misses him. And it's down the ice, and Smith out to handle the puck. Dahlbeck takes a bump. Murphy's pass ahead up the middle. This is Erat now carrying over the Buffalo line. Drop pass. Moss had drifted down as Gagne follows in on the play. Puck comes to the far point. Shot deflects on goal and high. Gagne bumped as he went to play the puck. Erat now down on the left wing corner to the face-off dot on the backhand. Stripped to the puck, and the Sabres get it back again. This is Coletta. A whip a pass cross ice, and that will send Buffalo back into their own end for the face-off.
Dan, we talked about Sabres having to capitalize on chances. Look at the chances they got in the first period. I'm talking point-blank opportunities. Larsson gets a great chance here. Here's a shot from Bogosian. Cody Hodgson tries to get it on the backhand. Giunta in with a slapper. Makes a big save once again. Hodgson, Mike Smith waiting him out there. Those are the chances you got to bury.
Coletta with the tip in behind the net. Smith takes a look. Sees Grigorenko coming from one side, so he keeps it moving over the right wing boards. Bouncing puck at center, knocked down. Coyotes gain the Buffalo line with his shot stopped and gloved and held by Anders Lindback.
For the team to get the best possible result, it requires hard work, talent, and passion.
Let our team at Cellino Barnes help you get the best possible result.
Draw coming up to the left of the Buffalo goal. Vitale plays it back to the line, and Arizona can't keep it in the zone. Campbell plays it ahead. Vitale chasing after it. Watched by Benoit in the corner. Zadorov over to help out as well. Benoit continues the pressure along the boards. McGinn trying to poke it down to the corner. Puck squirts free. Almost a giveaway inside the Buffalo blue line. McGinn at center can't knock it down, and it comes free on the right side. Veroni with a drop. Here's Delorier, makes one move. Plays it back to the top of the circle. Spin pass to the far side by Zadorov, finds Veroni. And the Sabres will start making a couple of changes anyways. The puck comes around the boards near side. Veroni gets in the face of McGinn. And the puck sent down into the Buffalo end. Rob Ray's guest in the pregame, Rasmus Ristolainen, carries up to center. Starts the rush. Here's Ellis looking for Cody Hodgson. Hodgson with a backhand sends it in front. Smith the stop. Back to Meszaros. He hammers one heavy off the inboards. A delayed penalty coming up against Arizona. Well, it's not delayed anymore, is it, Rob? The penalty's been called.
No, you're right. And they're going to make this call here any second, and they're going to get whoever is receiving this penalty to the box.
Well, it is a delayed penalty still then.
Yes, it is. They're delayed. Somebody does not want to go. And the referee is over there, and nobody's paying any attention to him whatsoever. The linesmen don't even know.
Well, someone's got to go. Here we go.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson just skated by me, and he says, was it me? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. It's Schwartz. And Jordan Schwartz here is going to be the guy getting the penalty. He's getting a high sticking call, so Sabres going on the power play here.
All right, so Buffalo with the first look with the extra skater, and they win the faceoff. Here's Larson at the circle, takes a shot, traffic in front. That hit Gionta, and he's feeling it. Gionta parked at the side of the net, and the puck cleared down the ice. This Buffalo Sabres power play is brought to you by New Wave Energy, your local energy supplier, and the power behind the Buffalo Sabres. Shoot into the near corner in the Arizona zone. Ristolainen comes down the boards. Puck comes free, backhand of the line, kept in. Molson walked the line with it. Gionta stays on the ice after taking that puck seemingly off the arm. Here's Ristolainen back to the top of the zone. Bogosian racing down to the right wing corner, plays it back to an open point. Ristolainen covers into the skates of Larson. Sabres kept to the outside, but zone time, which will now end as Tobias Reeder sends the puck down the ice. Lindback out to play it quickly ahead as he saw Arizona changing, but Ristolainen carried it back inside his own zone, and the Sabres just gift it right back to the Coyotes, who will send it back in behind the Buffalo net. Here's the call to 45 in the background. That's the time left. The power play as Cody Hodgson takes a pass at center. Drifts to the left wing, pass in the slot one time, and the shot saved by Smith. And another good look, that time by Grigorenko.
And nice quick shot by Grigorenko, busting through. But earlier in this power play, Brian Gionta standing to the right side of the net here on your screen. Takes that puck right in the right hand, it looks like. And then right at the end before the whistle, Cody Hodgson's going to feed. Grigorenko coming down, one times it, trying to go in short side, top side. Mike Smith with the save.
Face-off wing, Grigorenko, shot for the point, and Andre Meszaros with another one. A dart from the blue line, and the Sabres have tied it up. Meszaros with 3 goals in the last 2 games now.
And it all because of the big shot. He's got an excellent shot, very hard, very heavy, and it was a face-off win. Goes straight back, there's traffic in front, and this just clearly beats Mike Smith. You got Foligno tied up with his man in front, and he just can't find it. But he keeps this shot low enough, about 1.5 feet off the ice, just inside the post. And Meszaros gets his 6th goal of this season on the power play.
You talked about the face-off win. Mikhail Grigorenko won the draw. He's 5 for 7, 71%. You talk about doing whatever you can to impress upon the coaching staff that you've got something to give, and Grigorenko with that face-off percentage number and winning an offensive zone draw on the power play. Sabres have tied it up, and Delpe will backhand it into the Arizona end behind the net. Smith to play it, Erat off the boards. Gagne down to the goal line to pick up the puck for the Coyotes. Erat at center, back to Gagne, right wing side. He stood up as he gets about 2 feet over the Buffalo line, and back comes Delorier. Linesman fell down right in front of him. Delorier had to wait it out for a second. Now Erat carries in over the Buffalo line. He stood up again as soon as he gets a stride or 2 over the line. And this time it's Weber who said you're not going any further. He's out there with Bogosian right now. They go side to side. Now here's Delpe's got some room. Top of the right circle. And Mike Smith with the save out to cover up top of the blue paint. Mo's hot player, Andre Meszaros, has scored. So text Mo's hot players to 81018 to receive 25% off at Mo's tomorrow.
Andre Mazzaro's a very experienced guy. He's getting a good opportunity here late in this season after the trade deadline to play an awful lot of hockey. And he's showing why he stayed in the league as long as he has. He's got the big shot, very good on the power play from the backside, and he's been able to capitalize with it.
I think he'd be the first to tell you he wasn't the most confident guy for a while, but obviously, Rob, I mean, you played this game now. Every time he gets the puck, I mean, he's just, whether it's a wrist shot or a slapper, he's putting it on goal immediately. He's not even hesitating.
Yeah, very surprising, too, for a guy that has been around as long as he has, that it took him a while to get into this organization to become comfortable. And it just seemed like, you know, a guy for as old as he is should fit in a little quicker. He had a very difficult time, and he's very honest and open about it.
Reeder bumped off the puck by Zadorov. Sabres almost turned it over, but good position by Matt Ellis. And you'll hear that said more often than not about number 37. No, Arizona in behind the Sabres goal. Far circle tipped away. Good stick in the lane by Cody Hudson. Shallow trying to chase the puck down low. Only player tripped up on the play, but we continue on. Here's Ekman Larsson from the point. His shot goes wide. Stone keeps it in, throws it onto the goal line, but Schaller picks it up for Buffalo, and he'll lift a bouncing puck to center. Larsson off his skate as he went down to cover up. Following up though on the play. And a shot on goal stopped by Smith. Here's Cody Hudson at the near post with a bouncing puck off the inboards. Got a whack at it. Down the corner. Time again. Larsson down low on the forecheck. Arcabello trying to squirt free down the ice, but an icing call here charged against Arizona.
Now, Sabres, when they've created good opportunities because of force, the pressure, and especially on the forecheck, and they're going to go down, they eliminate, and they win control over the puck. They're winning that battle and able to come up with it. That's what they have to continue to do. Brian Flynn, last game, Danny Flynn, about what they need to do in the offensive zone. He said, get nastier, and that's exactly what they're doing here tonight.
Shot in the slot. That drifts just wide of Mike Smith. Ristolainen comes down to the right board, sends it behind the net to the far corner. Ekman Larsson, a big hit on Gianta, who may have reached for that hand he took a shot off of afterwards, but Gianta stays out there. There's an option now for Ristolainen, and Gianta tipped it to the line, but not out. Kept in the Buffalo zone. Larsson with a hit, bumps his man off the puck, and Johan Larsson comes up with a puck. Pass off on the right wing side, Molson, and Buffalo going offside as they gain the Arizona line. Andre Mazzaros with his 6th goal of the season has tied it for Buffalo here in the second.
Presents today in Sabres history, March 30th, 2008. Andre Sekera became the first rookie defenseman in Buffalo Sabres history to score an overtime goal. He connected 39 seconds into overtime for a 2-1 win over the visiting Boston Bruins.
In December, it was Nikita Zadorov becoming the 4th Sabres rookie defenseman to score an overtime goal, along with the likes of Marc-Andre Gagnon, Mark Pysyk, and Sekera. Whom you mentioned. One game. 12:43 to go in the second. Sabres bring it up to center right wing, and the shoot in by Larsson. Smith behind the net. Gianta racing after it. Puck bounces to Larsson, and it's off the end of his stick out to center ice. Now Chipchura racing after the puck. Weber has the right angle, gets to it first. Puck tips off the side of the Buffalo net. Weber reaching for it. Schwartz battling him. Sabres bring it to center. 3, crossing the line now. Here's Gianta with a shot and a pad save. The right leg stretched out fully by Smith to kick that puck out. Mazzaros sits inside the Buffalo blue line, snaps a pass ahead. There's the confidence, tape to tape. Now Foligno takes it down to the right wing corner. Looks back to the line from Mazzaros. Wrister on goal, tipped just wide. And Schwartz got his stick on it, trying to knock it down. Grigorenko trying to get the puck off the back of the net. Now it's against the boards. Four players here trying to get that puck free. Gagne, the recipient of the free disc. And the Coyotes now to center ice, and it's fired in by Dahlbeck, and he'll turn to the Arizona bench. Lindback behind the net to play it. 2 Arizona players down low in the goal line, and Anders Lindback just calmly played that puck out of trouble. The Coyotes send it down in the corner again. Erat plays the puck up top to the far point. In behind the net, Moss against the boards, along with Ristolainen, who plays it over to the left wing side. Pass ahead looking for Coletta, and it's going to go to the length of the ice for an icing call.
Andre Mazzaros has been on fire in Colorado Saturday night. This is first of two coming in. Going around, Varlamov tucking in. The second one, big slapper from the point. And then here once again tonight, another big shot from the point. Raising wide, keeps it low, and gets it through a number of people and hits the net.
Arizona win the face-off. Shot deflects just wide. Pops back out in the slot. Reeder plays it back to Arcabello at the point. Ekman Larsson, top of the blue line. Arcabello, shot goes off the leg. That hit Mazzaros. Now Shane Doan, he wheels it in front, and Anders Lindback just stays put and makes the save as Reeder drove the slot down low and had a one-on-one chance against the Buffalo goaltender. Tonight's Fan Advantage keyword is away. Be sure to visit Fan Advantage to redeem your points for merchandise or unique fan experiences. For more information, visit sabres.com/fanadvantage. Another face-off win by Arizona. Erat behind the goal. Bogosian watching him. Moss chasing after it, far corner. Weber chasing after him. Moss to the front of the net. Weber will watch him as the Coyotes are kept to the outside. Now the top of the zone. Gagne tried to drag a pass through, and it's cleared back out to center ice. This is Campbell now for Arizona. He takes a hit from Peroni as the puck is whipped into the Buffalo zone. To the blue line. Shot tipped just wide. That was Bogosian in front of the Buffalo net. Now comes back. And a shot off the stick of Erat. Hits the stick, and the Sabres able to clear it out to center. Now Delpy trying to get after it. Down to the right wing. Delpy down low. In behind the net. Now the help out is Delorier in the left wing corner. Delorier comes up with a nice move. Backhand from the slot, and Smith makes the save. Pad along the ice. And some real hard work by Delorier coming off of the left wing boards to get to the front of the net. We are tied at 1 with 9:43 to go in the second. The Toyota replay. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer.
Nick Delorier battling, trying to get himself in good position here, coming off the wall. Picks up the loose puck. He ends up running into Delpy, but still gets the shot off on the backhand. But see, he just tries to power his way through there, stays with the puck. Mike Smith has to come up with a big save with the left pad. Nice job by Nick Delorier, trying to bust through, hanging onto the puck and keeping that concentration, still getting the shot to the net.
Talk about players that you just watch mature and grow with confidence within their own game and not trying to do too much, and something that Brian Duff talked with Nicholas Delorier about in the first intermission. Over 6 minutes played in the game, 4 hits, and that scoring chance. And the Sabres, Johan Larsson, another one of the players who's seeing just some of those signs you hope to see. Chipchura back for Arizona. Right wing, Chipchura over the line, but Gianta gets enough of the puck to send it back outside the zone. Phoenix will fire right back in behind the Buffalo net. Zadorov can't get too far with Joe Vitale staring him down. Now Zadorov right in front of the net is time again trying to put some pressure on the Buffalo defenseman, and now the Sabres go offside. Gianta at the Arizona line.
Well, Dan, in the press box, up where you are, there's a shot of Darcy Regier, the assistant general manager here in Arizona, senior vice president, looking on.
Face-off won by Arizona, and Campbell starts it out with a pass that'll eventually go length of the ice, and Buffalo will come back down the Arizona end for yet another face-off.
This building is so quiet in here,
yeah,
that you can hear every tap of the stick, every word a player's saying on the ice, but I probably would have to think that in 94 plus degrees all day long, people do tend to fall asleep.
Sabres have it, 19 shots on goal in a 1-1 game. So PJ Crombie down the left wing, and a shot gloved down by Anders Lindback.
Lindbeck had to be sharp there. That puck was redirected. As the shot was taken, it just kind of popped up straight. And it was going low, and then as it redirected, it came up about 3 feet. And Lindbeck did a heck of a job staying with that.
And Makarov called up by Buffalo before this game. Backing up Anders Lindback here tonight. Face-off won by Arizona. This is Crombie. Saves back to the line. Shot through traffic. That went a couple of different directions. Stays out. Quick pass ahead. Mazzaros finds Foligno. And now Patrick Kaleta crosses the line, trying to send one through the slot and rolls right on goal. And Mike Smith holds it, so the Sabres win a face-off coming up here in the Arizona end.
And Mike Smith taking absolutely no chances here, trying to slow things down a little bit. He's giving his team an opportunity to make the change they want to have on the ice.
Well, Mike Smith with a 5-3-2 record against Buffalo, a .914 save percentage in 11 career games. And Buffalo's done a pretty good job tonight in having some zone time against the goaltender who moves the puck so well. Now into the goal line as Kaleta and Marcus Foligno do some of the hard work down low. Grigorenko for Foligno, left wing too far. And the Coyotes off the boards and out is Reeder. Not enough for icing as Weber is back to play it. Hard around to the far side, Johan Larsson. To Gianta across center, he'll tip it into the Arizona zone. All the way from Larsson, starts it out with a long pass. Just ahead of the Buffalo blue line, it's sent to the side of the net. Now Bogosian takes the drop from Lindback. And Gianta will start the skate out. Pass ahead, across the Buffalo line and out from Molson, he'll tip it back. Sabres will try it the left side this time. Gianta with a tip in again to the near corner. Larsson for Arizona. Stone in behind the net. Pass ahead, tipped off the boards. Moss tied up. Gagne reaching for it. Sabres come away with it. This is Zadorov. Nice move, cutting it. Nikita Zadorov! Oh, what a save by Mike Smith! That's just fun to watch.
Alan, this is what you want to see out of Nikita Zadorov. Being aggressive, taking the puck and going. This is when he's most comfortable. And you see him, he sees the lane, takes the opening, jumps, and makes two great moves, stepping by guys. And Mike Smith comes up with a real big save here, but watch this, cuts in the middle again, takes the wrist shot. And Mike Smith, he likes to be flashy, but he had to be certain on that one.
Sabres win the draw, and the shot from the point by Zadorov is blocked, and all the way back down, the puck goes into the Buffalo end. Coyotes at the far point, keep it in. Schwartz plays it behind the net. Zadorov trying to tie up his man. Brought up by Cunningham, back to the line, and the shot goes wide. Stays in play as it goes high off the glass. Chipchura trying to get to it. Now Benoit for Buffalo. Sabres bring it out, right wing to center. Carrying it over the line is Deslauriers. He's got a hop, sends it to the far post, and Delpy drove the net, just couldn't get to the puck. Mazzaros scores! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Andre Mazzaros with his second of the game for the second straight game, and the Buffalo Sabres lead it 2-1.
They get to double up on that Mose thing. Andre Mazzaros, what another great shot. And this is this guy's biggest asset. It is a shot. And once again, 2 goals here tonight, getting his 7th of the season on just a shot that he lays into, going backwards, a little off balance, man, but does he put it to the net? And once again, Smith, it just blows by him. He gets in there, he tries to make the play, but the puck is already in the net by the time Smith makes the play on the shot.
Here comes Schaller down the left wing. Gagne trying to guard him as it's off the side of the net. Sabres keep it in. Cody Hudson down on the left wing corner. Back to the line, Mazzaros again, and that shot well wide of the goal. Schaller brings it up top. Keeping it. Gagne leaning on him. Here's a chance for a breakaway pass, but missing Gagne, and an icing call against Arizona. Well, Rob, I don't know what the routine is with the sticks of hockey players. You know better than me, but whatever someone's doing with Andre Mazzaro's sticks, are the players not touching them right now or what?
Well, usually good offensive guys are very particular about their sticks, and there's a lot of little things they like doing, but I would say Andre Mazzaro's, being the defenseman as he is, goes through an awful lot of sticks, blocking shots and all that kind of thing, and battling along the wall, so those lucky sticks don't last long.
Arizona with yet another icing call, so we're starting to rack up that total stat.
Dan, our New York State Smokers Quitline trivia question: who holds the record for the most goals in one NHL season by an American-born defenseman? We talked about the most by a Swedish-born defenseman, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Now we're looking for American-born.
All right. We continue our international tour while we continue our tour of how to ice the puck here. Arizona's done it again.
Yeah, that's good. That Sabres getting the pressure on it that they're forcing, trying to make something happen. It's actually a good sign. He's got to keep it going here, keep that pressure on those D of Arizona.
Coyotes get it out and down the ice. The linesman waved this one off. This is Bogosian to center, pass on the left wing. This finds the tape, and a shot goes wide of goal. Gianta again. Larson had that chance, and now this time it's Gianta with a bouncing puck. He gets it to the front of the net. Smith keeps it out. And it's played up ahead, but not out by Dahlbeck. Kept in by Buffalo. Connor Murphy for Erat. Short pass ahead. And Vitale will shoot it into the Buffalo zone down under the goal line. Benoit gets there first. Nice little short tip pass finds Bogosian, and the puck sent out to center ice, where it's sent back to the Buffalo line, and John Moore knocked down. Gets back up. Sabres carry with 3 over the line. Grigorenko with a shot from the right wing boards. That's off a skate. Vitale behind the net. Campbell plays it up the boards, kept in. Here's a one-timer, and the save made by Smith as Patrick Coletto wound and fired up. Now Marcus Foligno in a shoving match. Here comes Coletto to help out. Andrew Campbell, BJ Crombeen down low as well, as it is just a conversation for now, but it is Andre Mazzaro's road trip so far. He's got 2.
It's a great feeling when the Sabres win.
Last year, we won over 2,000 cases for our clients. So if you need help, give us a call.
Now the Sabres here in this second period have definitely carried the play. After scoring that first goal, they've continued to keep the pressure on the Arizona forwards down low, the defense creating some good opportunities. Out shooting here in this second period, 12-6 and 24-15 overall so far in this game.
Arcabello comes up with it, sends a pass cross ice, and Moore will fire it in behind the Buffalo goal. Lindback down on one knee as he tries to put that high off the glass and out. It's all the way down the ice. No icing. Linesman waving it off. And back after it is Campbell for Arizona. He just pokes it ahead, and the Coyotes now bring 3 to center ice. Reeder with a shot. That one low along the ice. Pad save. Lindback, and they try to bank it off him. Coming back to the far post. This is Dahlbeck. Reeder knocks it down left wing side. He's got a trailer at Arcabello. Shot off the skate. And it's Delorier for Buffalo, left wing to center. Cross ice pass. Delpy takes it off the boards down the right wing. Takes a look behind him for the trailer, and a shot right on by Ristolainen, stopped by Smith. Connor Murphy pokes it to the board. Sabres on it. This is Veroni. Far point. Shot again with traffic in front. Saved by Smith. Delpy with a rebound. On the near boards with 3:15 to go. Second period, 2-1 Buffalo here in Arizona. Veroni turns away from Reeder. Short pass over the line. Delpy right wing takes the shot, and Smith kicks the rebound to the far boards, which tipped out to center ice. Bogosian's pass up the middle. That one almost picked off. Now here's a chance, and Gagne can't quite get there. Has it knocked away at the last second, just as he made the reach. Good defensive play as Moss takes it back to the far point. Erat, right wing corner, turning away from Cody Hodgson. Looks up top. Here comes Stone with a shot. That hit his skate in front, and it's chipped out down the ice. Not enough for icing. Stone behind the net. Ekman Larson with it now. Pass up the middle. It's the tape of Gagne who crosses the Buffalo line. Gagne knocked to the ice by Zadorov. Schwartz behind the net, being watched by Benoit. Erat shoved, but he stays on the puck and gives it away. Hudson, though, had it and lost it. And the Coyotes keeping the Buffalo zone down in the left wing corner. Zadorov had to pick up his stick, comes back to the line for Ekman Larson to the far point. Gagne looking for the tip, can't get it to the net. Sabres now with a chance for a 3-on-2 as they rush it down the ice. Right wing side, going to the net. Unable to get the shot on goal, but running the rush was Benoit, and then Schaller tried to play it down low. It's awkward off his stick and down the ice for a potential break here. Schwartz is going to pull up down the right wing side, end of a shift. And the Sabres catch a bit of a break there, reaching for it as Campbell, but it's sent down the ice into the Arizona zone. Kyle Chipchura back after it. Quick hit pass up the middle. In over the Buffalo line. Mazzaros is back. Here's a chance. Cunningham knocked it out of midair and wide. Ristolainen with a pass up the middle. Larson kept ahead of the Arizona blue line against the right wing boards. Kicks at the puck. Kicks it over the line. 2-on-1 now. Matt Moulson pass across. Here's the shot and it's off the mark. Larson tried to send it in the slot. Chipchura intercepts for Arizona, and the Coyotes stay on side of the Buffalo line. Last minute to play here in the second period. Backhand pass to the front of the net. And taking care of business, Rasmus Ristolainen sending Craig Cunningham to the ice.
Now both teams getting some very good opportunities here in the last couple of minutes. And Anders Lindback making a big save here. Shane Doan just dropping the puck. Able to skate in, takes the shot, tries to pick the second one out of the air. He had the save rate with Cunningham. He had two great opportunities. Sabres turned to go down the other end and had one of their own.
Arizona win the faceoff, shot wide from the point. Up down just inside the Buffalo line. Foligno gets it up to center ice. This is Grigorenko. He takes the shot. Big rebound, kicked out, and right back on goal. As Foligno drove the net. Smith keeps it out. And Mike Weber for Buffalo back inside his own blue line. Under pressure. Brings it away from Crombie up the boards. Crombie trying to tip it back inside the Arizona line. Sabres get the puck back again. Not for long as Arizona have it now. Ekman Larson. Bill Vitale knocked down as he crossed the Buffalo line. Sabres with 10 seconds. Break is on down the right wing. Delorier trying to lean his way to the net. Force behind the goal. Puck comes back to the near side. Back to the line. Here's a shot from Bogosian. Again, a big rebound kicked out. And that is kept out by Ty McGinn, who sends the puck down the ice. And now, after the final whistle, Delorier in there for a conversation. Here comes Bogosian, and he's not going to be shy, as Stone and Crombie both want to have a go. Now, everyone's into it. Everyone's got a partner, and here we go at the side of the net. Players still kind of tight, though, Rob.
Yeah, Mike Weber got a couple punches there in, and so did Zach Bogosian, but that's about it. They've been tied up pretty tight.
And the referee barking the orders to let it go.
Now, just all starts Nick Delorier. He's playing rough and tumble here tonight, and he just wants to get a piece of everything out there right now, taking out three guys. And finally, his guys come in, help him out a little bit, but he's been going to the front of the net each and every time down the ice. He's battled with the defenders in front. He's been banging Smith in front, and he's just getting involved in all ways he can to distract the goaltender, Mike Smith. And here, Arizona finally pushed back a little bit because Nick Delorier has definitely been driving their car here all night long.
Nick Delorier might be the engine, but of course the finishing touch has been put on by Andre Mazzaros with 2 goals again tonight. Buffalo 2, Arizona 1 through 40.
Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by Northtown, the official automotive dealer of the Buffalo Sabres. That's selection and savings to the nth degree. That's Northtown. Units, Western New York's only organ, eye, tissue, and community blood center. Injured? Don't wait. Call 8. Call Solino and Barnes, Western New York's largest personal injury firm. The Gates Vascular Institute, building a healthier future. Eaton makes it easier. Brought to you by Kia. Visit BuffaloKiaDealers.com to learn more.
Second period highlights. Buffalo was down by 1 on the Murphy first period goal, but then on the power play, second unit tallies. Grigorenko won the faceoff, and you can see a screen set up in front as well as Marcus Foligno headed in the right direction. Mazzaro's blast, his third in the past 2 games and 6th on the year. It happened at 4:27. Then at 13:36, Mazzaro's with his 7th of the season. Delorier and Delpy set it up. Points at 2 straight for Delpy, and you can see the reaction from Smith as he just didn't pick it up cleanly. And yet another celebration for Mazzaro's and company. And I think we talked with Delorier after that first period about how the hitting can eventually lead to the offense, and that's exactly what transpired in that period for Delorier. Another strong 20 for him. Your Vein Treatment Center summary. Visit them online at veins.com. Mazzaro's has a pair. Delorier's presence is highlighted by 5 hits, and the Sabres go 1 for 1 on the power play after going 0 for against the Avs, but in the previous 6 had been very strong, so clearly it's been an improving area for Buffalo. Connor Murphy has his 4th. Tobias Reeder has been a threat. Faceoffs are now tilted in favor of the Coyotes, but at this point in time, it's not a big part of the storyline. The Corsi number is, however, 14 shots from the red zone area for Buffalo and 31 in total in the game. Amazing. 54 attempts already for Buffalo towards Mike Smith. And they're coming from everyone, folks. They're, especially the top line, more than 14 pucks towards the goal, even though they've been held off the score sheet. See you next on the Lexus postgame report immediately following this one to Dan and Razor for the 3rd.
Now, see that gentleman right there? He drinks an awful lot. And he makes bad decisions in his life. And the purchase of that shirt proves it.
I rely on you for compliments.
I gotta call a spade, guys. Sorry, Brad.
Third period in Glendale, where the Sabres have a 2-1 lead, and we start this period with some 4-on-4 hockey after the penalties handed out at the end of the second period. Buffalo attacking from right to left as Tobias Reeder goes cross ice with his pass, taken off the boards. Larson's shot, and that one is stopped through traffic by Anders Lindback. Coyotes now with 18 shots on goal. Sabres with 31. And this man, Andre Mazzaros, with 2 goals now in back-to-back games. Larson for Buffalo, right wing to the blue line, and a pass up the middle, taking it over the line now by Gionta. Looking to backhand his way towards the goal, protecting the puck. Back to the line. Bogosian, far point, will just shoot it around the boards. And Benoit thought about coming down, but Buffalo changing on the play, so he backs out. Now allows Arizona some time and space, and Shane Doan will skate his way through center ice, cross the Buffalo line, play it back to the point. Now to the top of the circle. Here's a shot, and that one deflects high. Up and out of play as Kyle Chipchura had that look for Arizona.
Our New York Lottery inside the numbers. Oliver Ekman-Larsson leads the NHL defenseman with 21 goals, 9 power play goals, and 7 game-winning goals. Very impressive young man.
Moore back between the circles in the Arizona zone, leans his way now to center ice. Pass off for Chipchura on the right wing, and Arizona go offside on that play.
Dan, they talked about in the intermission being physical. Brad talked about this, continue to be physical, lead the offense. Well, you're right, it has. The Sabres 30 hits after 2 periods, leading the way. Nick Delorier had 5 of them, and in turn generating 30 shots in 2 periods. That's excellent.
Players getting involved, doing or contributing in some manner on their shifts. As we talked about earlier, Marcus Foligno's had a few games without goals tonight, but you certainly haven't seen that taken away from how he's contributed to the lineup. Right now, back checking and doing a good job of that as Arizona go offside on the play.
And also by those shots, all but 3 guys on the team have registered a shot. And Duffer was talking about that, how it was spread all across the board. That's exactly true. Like I say, all but 3 guys have got a shot on net here tonight.
Well, and how about all the goals coming from the defense at this point, too?
At this point, you get them wherever they can come from.
Yes, you can.
They'd take it from you and I if we could do it.
Well, think you'd have a better shot from where you're standing. Here's Meszaros for Molson. Right wing crossing the line. Meszaros is going to go to the side of the net looking for the tip this time, and loving it down as Mike Smith to hold on.
That puck, when that shot was taken, it was deflected right off the shot. And it took off, and it got about 3/4 of the way in, and it just took a nosedive, and it dropped. And Molson looking back up. Shot, it deflects off the stick. And then it starts flubbering, and then when it gets to the net, the bottom just drops out of it.
Well, did you see he was hanging around for it as well? Number 41. Before he scored his 2 goals against Colorado, and of course he's done it again tonight under Meszaros. You go back to January 18th of 2014. Islanders at Pittsburgh, and he's a member of the Flyers when he managed to score 2 goals in the game. So Andre Meszaros, the story here, along with a total team effort, as Rob pointed out. Coyotes, Stone will carry it over center and shoot it in behind the net. Anders Lindback keeps the play moving. Weber redirect to the far corner, right side. Bogosian under pressure ahead to Scheller. Cody Hodgson finds some room down the right side. Nice spin pass in the slot. Scheller, quick snap pass, and that shot is stopped by Smith, and Scheller's got the rebound on the far corner. Looking up top as he carries to the far point with it. Cross ice pass off the boards. Benoit bouncing puck. Erat for Arizona. Now Moss looking for it ahead of the Buffalo blue line. He's stripped. And is coming back to take the puck back. Matt Molson. Pass ahead on the left wing. Rifled in behind the Arizona goal by Nikita Zadorov. And now here's a breakaway pass attempt by Smith looking up ice. But that play is coming back down to the Arizona end of the ice as Gagne was up ahead of the play.
We're talking about goals by defensemen. 5 straight goals by the Sabre defensemen here in the last couple of games. Ristolainen 1, Meszaros 4. And we always talk about big teams and good teams in the league. They get production from their back end. This is something the Sabres need to learn how to do and get it more consistent as we move forward.
And of course the chance by Nikita Zadorov in the second period as well. Could have easily been another one as he made some nice moves. He got a good look against Mike Smith. Against the boards, Campbell give it a bump. Gianta can't get to it. Campbell again will bank it. Connor Murphy off the boards. Out to center ice. Meszaros. Good position as Shane Doan tries to advance the puck. Sabres shoot it back in behind the Arizona net again. Smith. Buffalo changing. Pass ahead. Shane Doan, right wing, is going to wind and fire. And a blocker save very calmly made by Lindback. Trying to steer that off to his right, maybe keep play moving for Bogosian, but the Coyotes keep it in. And behind the goal, Kyle Chipchura with it now. He's got one man in front of the net, one in the slot. It's a backhand shot. That one stopped, and then the second chance. Just dribbles at the side of the net. Sabres get it to the line and out. Mikhail Grigorenko to center. That was in his skates, couldn't move it forward. Arizona get it back again. And it's shot into the Buffalo zone. Waiting for it is Lindback. Forehand pass off the boards. Marcus Foligno comes to meet it. He goes cross ice. And the Sabres now down the right wing. Nice little drop pass. And Bogosian hammers one wide. Alpi and Bogosian teaming up for a little neat work down that right wing. Smith behind the net for Arizona. Keeps the play moving. Maroney trying to step into the play. Vitale will carry to the Buffalo line and in. Play stays onside. And Vitale going through the slot. Lost the puck. The Sabres get it back again. Bank pass. Finds Delorier. Down the left wing. Mike Smith is going to glove that one down as 2 Sabres were bearing down that right wing to try to chase down the puck. Kevin Sylvester and Andrew Peters take your calls tomorrow morning on Sabres Hockey Hotline, 10 a.m. until noon on the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get the call. 10:30 Western New York time, 7:30 Arizona time.
Will you be on the ground or will you be in the air at that time?
We'll be on the ground.
Here's Ellis in behind the Arizona goal. Bouncing puck. Played ahead by Campbell. How do you get to center and shoot in behind the net? There's Lindback the wing. That time he trapped that one with the inside of his leg. Keeps play moving again, and now Ellis backing up to his own blue line. Pass up through center. Here comes Rasmus Ristolainen. His shot from the far circle deflects off the glass. Settles down to the near boards for Cody Hudson. Sends it back behind the net. Schaller waiting for it, far corner. Campbell off the boards and out. That'll bounce over center on the Buffalo side of the blue line now as it's taken by Mazzaros from Ristolainen. That's off the back of Cody Hudson on the shoot-in. And back after it is Dahlbeck for Arizona. Make his way to center on the left wing and then shoot it in the Buffalo zone. Lindback thought about playing it. Gets in between the pipes. Good thing. Here it comes back for Connor Murphy. He fans on the shot. Bothered just enough. And a nice play by Gionta to break it up. His pass ahead finds Larson, who crosses the line. Far circle. Back for Gionta here at the near post. Just missed off the heel of his stick. Gionta again. Pass through the slot. That misses Larson. And it's knocked outside the zone and all the way back into the Buffalo end of the ice. Larson with a tip in. Smith lays it into the corner. Moss backing up. Now turns and fires a pass down the left wing side. Big hit by Nikita Zadorov as he comes over on Reeder. And the puck lifted down into the Arizona end of the ice. Grigorenko bothering Ekman Larson, who makes the turn. Pass ahead, missing Shane Doan. Lindback out to play. Played just in front of the net. Arizona send it back behind the goal again. Nikita Zadorov. Good positional play there on Shane Doan. Now it's Kaleta trapping the puck. Now it comes free. Marcus Foligno, backhand pass up the middle. And a nice play by Patrick Kaleta down the left wing as he sends it deep into the Arizona zone. Stone watching him. Ekman Larson now takes a light bump from Marcus Foligno. Gagne trying to dig the puck free. Referee calling for the players to work it free. Puck still against the boards. It's underneath the sticks. Now it comes free. And Ekman Larson comes up with it. He's looking up the middle. Nothing is there. Reeder will skate it up over the red line. And make that Gagne down the right wing side. His shot goes off the skate as Ristolainen plays it ahead. Delorier get another crack at it. Mazzaros, his pass, he fanned on it, but the Sabres able to send it down to the side of the Arizona goal. Nice stretch of play here as the puck is tipped to the Buffalo blue line. Sabres up 2-1. Mazzaros both goals after Arizona jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. Here's Bogosian to center in the shooting. Comes around to the near side, left wing for Delorier. At the goal line with it. He's knocked down, gets back up, puck over the far corner. Down comes Bogosian, pokes it behind the net. Weber comes over. Against McGinn to try to keep it in. Schwartz to center. Chipchura carries over the Buffalo line. Veroni battling him. Chipchura leaves it. Schwartz side of the net looking for McGinn. Bouncing puck. McGinn in the corner with it. Chipchura and McGinn work the short cycle. Now turning with it. Chipchura still parked in that corner. McGinn trying to get in front. He does with a backhand, and that one goes high and off the mesh. 10:51 to go in the third. The Sabres lead at 2-1 on 33 shots.
New York State Smokers Quit Line trivia question. Who holds the record for the most goals in one NHL season by an American-born defenseman? Answer, Detroit, Michigan native Kevin Hatcher. Scored 34 goals with the Washington Capitals in 1992-93 season.
Boy, when he was on, he was a powerhouse, wasn't he? How about Paul Coffey? He holds the overall record with 48 goals scored for the Oilers back in the 85-86 season. And of course, Sabres fans know all about Phil Housley at 31 in the 83-84 season. Here's Erat down low, battling for the puck. Plays it back to the point. Ekman Larson, his shot off the skate wide. Moss with it. Pokes it to open ice. Back to Larson again. Stone off the inboards, and seeing that read well as it's knocked down by Lindback, and now a delayed penalty coming up here against Buffalo. Extra skater on for Arizona. Michael Stone here at the near point. Pass in the middle of the ice. Ekman Larson, top of the zone. Pass off to the left wing side. Back to Ekman Larsson again. Stone's open in the near circle. Pass off to the left. Crowd in front. Shots wide. Goaltenders on the bench for Arizona as this delay penalty with Arizona possession continues. Stone up top. His shot that blocked, and this will bring the whistle. And it will be Arizona going on the power play for the first time tonight. As we get a look at the call coming up against the Sabres. Sabres showing 35 hits on the night, 5 of them coming from number 44, Nicolas Deslauriers, including our Karuba collision of the game against Connor Murphy, who sees 44 coming like a rolling train but has to take the hit anyway. Make the right decision, insist on Karuba Collision, the official collision repair centers of the Buffalo Sabres.
Zach Bogosian in the box for holding.
So for the first time tonight, Buffalo is on the penalty kill. This Buffalo Sabre penalty kill is brought to you by Napa. Napa has the know-how. Arizona with just 3 power play goals in their last 9 games played coming in, or 22 power play opportunities. Ekman Larsson, he's bumped off the puck as Marcus Foligno comes back. And make sure number 23 is going nowhere. He has 9 power play goals on the season. Coyotes making their way to center. Now Shane Doan, wrister on goal. Lindback's going to send it the length of the ice. Right to Smith. Goaltenders playing catch with the puck here, and the Sabres penalty kill with 1:10 left in it. As it's brought up ice by John Moore, he'll drop it back at the blue line. Gagne with a pass that goes off the left wing boards, and Buffalo able to send the puck down the ice again. Enough of that power play, says Dave Tippett. He gets a new set of troops on the ice. It's Arcobello taking a return pass. Now Arcobello one-on-one, gets the shot through, and a nice pad save. Lightning quick leg there by Anders Lindback. Puck comes free in the slot, racing after it. Sabres can't get it out. It's off a skate to the line, kept in. Stone at the near point. Erat 1-2-3. Stone, now he finds some room for Larsson on the far side. Stone up top. Erat near circle in the slot. Shot by Arcobello, doesn't get through. Stone at the far point with 19 seconds to go on the power play for Arizona. Sabres up 2-1. Erat, edge of the circle. Comes top of the zone. There's a shot with traffic in front. Lindback. A lot of bother there to even see the puck, but the shot was wide to the line and not out. Kept in by Ekman Larsson. Penalty with 1 second left in it. Arcobello for Erat. Out of the box is Bogosian racing back into the zone. Here's a chance in front. Arcobello can't get the shot away. Tried the initial tip. Coyotes keep possession. Erat against the boards. Pass in the slot. Quick shot. Save made by Lindback, and the puck then drifts high. Moss driven to the boards. That frees the puck to come to the near side. Matt Ellis can't get it out. Kept in. Moore sends it to a crowd in front of the net. Sabres get to the puck. Can't get it out yet. Kaleta falls to the ice, but Ellis there to help him out. Gets the puck outside the zone, and lucky for Buffalo, short change. They get some fresh legs onto the ice. Well, the Sabres 1 for 1 with the penalty kill. And they also have a power play goal tonight from Andre Mazeros. Weber goes cross ice in the Arizona zone. Right side, Gianta sends it behind the net. Time and space here for Matt Moulson. He tried to send it in front. It's off the skate. Coyotes bring 3 to center, 2 Sabres back. Kyle Chipchura carries in the slot, takes the shot on that one, deflects high, up and out of play.
The official First Niagara Sabres debit MasterCard has arrived. Stop by your local branch or go to firstniagara.com/sabres for details.
Rob, Buffalo showing still some good legs here in this third period.
Yeah, what they're doing, Dan, they're using their angles really well. You're seeing when the Sabres are backing into their zone a little bit, not panicking right there. Another good example, just getting the stick in the lane, deflecting pucks up and over. And they got caught out there on that penalty kill just a little bit, but that was the first time in this period that they had any extended shift or any length of time where they got conserved into their zone and couldn't get out. So they've done a nice job defensively here.
Lindback was there to bail him out. He's made 21 saves so far tonight. Ready for that first goal, 1:17 into the hockey game. Sabres into the Arizona zone just by about a foot or so, but it's broken up, and Gagne now brings it into the Buffalo zone. Leaves it for Shane Doan. His pass cross ice. Ekman Larsson for Gagne, who takes it off the inboards. Left wing side up top of the zone. Larsson watched by Delpy. Delpy just pins him against the boards. Puck comes back up top of the zone to the blue line. Reeder for Ekman Larsson. His shot. That one is stopped by Lindback. Gonovi saw it, but he certainly felt that one off the chest. And now Marcus Foligno to the line, but not out. And now it's up and out of play off the mesh. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third period. Sabres lead at 2-1 in Arizona. Anders Lindback has made 22 saves tonight, and our Toyota big save as he stares down Craig Cunningham, a former junior teammate of Buffalo Sabre, now Evander Kane. Cunningham in front. Lindback stays with it not once but twice. Maybe catching a break on the second. Bat out of midair. There's Cunningham, and there's Lindback. Our Toyota big save brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Face off the Buffalo zone. Moroni for the Sabres. Draw one by Arizona. The shot from the line by Ekman Larsson goes wide of the net and off the boards. Now the puck comes right in the slot. Now cleared. And Cody Hudson sends it out to center ice. Stone backing up. Snaps a pass to the Buffalo blue line. Reeder went offside, so the Coyotes peel back. And now Gagne stood up as he gets to the line by Weber. Sends it down behind the Buffalo net. Sabres with quick passes to get out of the zone. Weber stopped against the boards as Gagne pinching against the wall. Now it's lifted up, and that goes out of play.
It banked off the wall before it went out, though. We're good. Our New York Lottery inside the numbers. The Buffalo Sabres defenseman goal leaders, Rasmus Ristolainen and Andre Mazzaros, each have 7 goals. Mazzaros getting 2 goals in the last 2 nights. Steadily climbing up. Jumped ahead of a few forwards, actually.
Arizona, here's Erat with a shot from the near circle. Arcabello after it in the far side. Moss behind the net. To the corner and back to the line. Shot right on, glove by Lindback as traffic got there just as it arrived.
Now the Sabres just have to be clean in their own zone here this last 4 minutes, 47 seconds. Don't try to take too many chances. That last time when the puck went over the glass, the problem being, yeah, they made some nice, crisp, short passes, but everybody came out of the zone, left the 2 defensemen standing there. Got to stay in the zone until the puck's out.
Sabres break it out. Larsson right wing ahead of the blue line, fires it into the Arizona zone. Matt Molson. Giunta chasing after it. And it's Arcabello who's going to carry up and a pass ahead. Moss now crossing the Buffalo line. Tried to feed it through the slot. That's broken up. Larsson for the Sabres. And Giunta going to work their way up the boards, now behind the net. Ristolainen's got some space and real estate to work with. He'll take advantage of that to center and across the Arizona blue line before he dumps it into the far corner and heads off to the bench and a change with 4:05 to go in period 3. And McGinn trying to clear, teaming up with Kyle Tukchura. Schwartz racing after the puck. Down in the corner of the Buffalo end to the right of Anders Lindback. Tukchura knocked to the ice. Zadorov trying to play it up the boards. Delpy with a hit on Ekman Larsson as soon as he gets the puck. Penalty coming up here against Nikita Zadorov as Ekman Larsson kept moving and Zadorov got the stick inside.
Yeah, he's getting a hooking call here and he's arguing it. And it was just some battle along the wall. Take a look here and see he's got his stick between his legs, brings it back around. Nah, that's a tough call. I think that one was sold by Ekman Larsson along the wall. He kind of throws his hands up and spins around like that. Probably a little more embellishing than actually hooking by Nikita Zadorov. Nevertheless, Sabres going on the penalty kill power play for Arizona. 20.4%, ranked 7th in the NHL. 0 for 1 here tonight.
Back to the line, now the circle near side. Ekman Larsson, Gagne, Reeder, Ekman Larsson off the post. Maybe a piece by Lindback, but it rockets out Ekman Larsson. Down to the circle, far side. Gagne tried to send it in the slot. That's broken up. Chance to skate it out now for the Sabres. It'll be Bogosian all the way in. Tried to cut inside once he crossed the blue line down the left wing. That's broken up, and back comes Arizona, and Foligno sends Gagne to the ice with a shoulder hit just inside the Buffalo blue line. Gagne got about 5 strides in, and it was Keister to the ice. Reeder takes a pass. Hit over the line. Doan, right wing boards. Sends it cross ice. Now down to the far post. In comes Reeder. Pass doesn't get to him. Penalty kill for Buffalo with 1:05 left in it. And it's fired down the ice right on. Smith takes a look. Sends the pass up ahead. Sabres making changes, but Shane Doan has to drift all the way back to the Arizona blue line. Coyotes, right wing. Stone reaching for it. Marcus Foligno watching him. Bouncing puck. Sabres get it out. Arcabetto through center with a pass on the left wing. Sabres trying to clog it up in the middle. Do a good job of it. And it's off the boards and out by Gianta. Mike Smith almost to the blue line up to play it ahead. With 2 minutes to go, Mike Smith has gone to the bench. Arizona with a keeper on the bench and 17 seconds left in the power play. Marcus Foligno to center ice. Here's a chance with an empty net off a skate. He scores! Brian Gianta gets credit for the goal. And the Sabres take a 3-1 lead with 1:49 to go in the third period.
Well, nothing has come easy for Brian Gianta lately. And he's had plenty of opportunities. And he earned this one right here. Nice job, Marcus Foligno along the ball, getting it out. And Brian Gianta does a nice job getting himself across the red line before he takes the attempt on net, so it's not an icing. Getting his 11th goal of this season. And the Sabres just strong defensively in their own zone. Arizona came close, put one off the post, but that's as close as they got.
8 points now in his last 8 games.
Buffalo goal,
Here's Weber. Trying to clear, kept in. Stone with a shot tipped on, and Lindback the save. Well, Matt Molson is out of the box is Nikita Zadorov. He's going to join the play now. He'll turn to the bench. Larson takes a shot off the board. Smith loves it down, puts the puck down, and play continues on. Smith now makes his way towards the bench again. Arizona with a shoot in, and there was a chance, if he wanted to, for Anders Lindback to put it down and have a go at an empty net. Instead, he leaves it behind the net. And it's softly down the boards by Mazaros. Arizona now with Shane Doan just over the Buffalo line, right wing side. Winds and fires, and Lindback got a piece of that one. Goes to the far corner, now back to the line. Ekman Larson shot. Traffic in front, tipped on. Save made by Lindback. Over on the far boards. Played back to the line with 53 seconds to go. Another shot, that one high off the glass and wide. Connor Murphy comes down for the point, misplayed it. Sabres now break it out. 3 to center ice with an empty net. And the Sabres score another one. Their 4th of the game. And you talk about defensemen scoring goals. Rasmus Ristolainen takes a turn.
Andre Mazaros comes across and gives Ristolainen a big hug. The two of them are laughing, carrying this team offensively. But look at this. Everybody just moving the puck around. No selfish play whatsoever there coming out of the Sabres end. And finally Ristolainen gets the puck across the line and takes the shot at net. He slides it in. And now we have a new defenseman goal leader on the team, Rasmus Ristolainen, with 8.
The battle's on. 38 seconds to go as the Coyotes shoot it into the Buffalo zone. Chip Chura stripped to the puck. And Delpy gets shy of center as he lifts it into the Arizona end. Taylor stays in now for Arizona with Buffalo up 4-1. Chip Chura, as he crossed the line, is bumped off the puck. And with 10 seconds to go in the third period, Buffalo send the puck down the ice. And the Coyotes from center with a long shoot in. Lindback will glove it, and that will do it. The Buffalo Sabres come into Arizona. And 2 goals from that man for the 2nd straight game. And what a performance by Anders Lindback in goal as well, Rob, with his 28 saves.
You're right, Dan. Excellent night for the Sabres all the way around. And it's Miller time. And it's brought to you by Miller Lite. And tonight's Miller time moment, Andre Mazaros, for 2 nights in a row, scoring 2 goals, getting his 6th and 7th goal of the season here tonight. And a big reason why the Sabres win this game 4-1.
Well, you mentioned it, and Brian Duff brought it up. I'm sure they'll talk about it in our Lexus postgame show. This was a win that was spread throughout the team. Everybody contributed, and with more on those details, Brian Duff and Brad May.
Dan Razor, thank you. Anders Lindback fully deserving of this victory. And Brad, his puck playing tonight. I know we've documented it through Marty Baron and Inside Your Game, the Academy of Hockey, and you've illustrated some as well. It seemed very noticeable tonight how often he thwarted any sort of entry into the zone for the Coyotes.
Yeah, what a difference it makes back in your own zone when the goaltender can come out and stop the hard rim and then come up with a nice pass, suck in the forecheckers, and then just bait those guys, get the puck behind them. It's such an advantage, and Lindback's, he looks very comfortable. He made a couple big saves. One of the biggest, of course, off his toe, and the best friend, the goalpost, saved him as well late.
Indeed, Oliver Ekman-Larsson had that chance. Instead, it goes the other way. Empty netter for Brian Giunta, followed by another one from Rasmus Ristolainen, and it ends up a 4-1 Buffalo win over the Coyotes. The season series is done between these two. They play twice in a 5-day stretch. Buffalo picks up 3 of a possible 4 points. Stay with us as the Lexus post-game report continues.